Now today we're looking at a Champion oil filter. Now this is made by the same manufacturer that produce Fel-Pro gaskets, Beck & Arnley automobile parts, Wagner brakes and lighting, so I expect this to be high quality. So before we cut this open, we will be giving away one of these filters for free. If you want to enter, just leave a clean comment in the comment section below, and after 1 week we'll pick a winner. We'll contact you, just let us know what kind of vehicle you have, and we'll ship one out to you. So that being said, let's go ahead and cut it open. Now before we cut open the filter, I always like just to reverse engineer and see what we're working with. Right off the bat you can see that the center tube in here is metal, and on the opposite end that's your bypass valve. We'll talk more about that once we cut open the filter. But more importantly, if you take a look here, this is your base plate, and you have these inlet holes drilled through the base plate, and you see this orange material. What this is your anti-drain back valve, and I'll talk more about this valve when we cut this open. But on a higher end filter like this is good up to 12,000 miles with synthetic motor oil. You will find a silicone anti-drain back valve as opposed to rubber. Now here's a rubber anti-drain back valve, and when I cut this open you'll see that the silicone is thicker. It's also heavier when you hold it in your hands. The whole point behind silicone is that it can withstand higher temperatures and lower temperatures over nitrile rubber. So you will typically find rubber on your Fram Extra Guard, your blue STP, the cheap STP oil filter, your Purolator Classic, your cheaper oil filters. This is what you find. On your higher end oil filters, which have to last a lot longer, you'll find silicone. So that's one reason why you're paying more for these oil filters. I can tell it's also quite beefy compared to other filters for this same exact vehicle. This is made for a 2010 Subaru. This is quite hefty. If I weighed this compared to other filters, this would tip the scale for sure. Okay. Also, this is made in Mexico. If you're curious, the other filter that comes to mind is K&N. The other ones are typically made in the United States, except for STP Extended Guard. That was made in Korea. But typically it's usually the United States. So that being said, let me cut this open and let's see what we're working with. Now once the filter is cut open, you can quickly see the anti-drain back valve. Now comparing this with nitrile rubber, you can see the thickness. Again, higher temperatures compared to the nitrile rubber, higher end oil filters, lower end oil filters. Now the whole point behind this valve is when you shut off your vehicle, instead of having all of the engine oil drain out of the filter, this valve retains the oil inside the filter. So the next time you start your vehicle, there's oil readily available. You won't have a dry start. So on your higher end oil filters, again, this is good up to 12,000 miles. You will always find, at least so far that I've come across, a silicone anti-drain back valve. You pay a little bit more money, but it's worth every penny. Now the shell is interesting. Usually I don't talk too much about the shell, but this shell is very, very thick. When I was cutting open the filter with that tool, my forearm, usually I can twist it a couple times and the filter is open. But my forearm was just burning, and I had to use one of these adapters, use a ratchet and turn it, and that's how I got it open. This reminds me of the Purolator Boss. It's a very, very strong shell. I was not expecting that. Now comparing that to the Subaru filter that we opened last week, you can just see what the difference is. Now the reason why that's nice to have is not only is the pressure, the amount of pressure it can withstand, the burst pressure is higher, but this also can withstand punctures a lot better. So you never know, if you ever lose control in a snowstorm, instead of having debris go right through your filter, this can withstand a lot more pressure. So that's a nice feature to have. Again, $8 is what this goes for. And taking a look at the filter, this is just a coil spring. This keeps everything, I'll show you real quick, this keeps everything nicely compact. Typically you find a stamped piece of steel. Let me show you what that looks like. Typically something like this. This is what a lot of filters have. Coil spring you find, gosh, I think Wix XP has coil spring, K&N, but most of them use the stamped steel. I like the coil spring. To me it's just a higher quality material. And then on top of the filter, this is your bypass valve. Now the whole point behind this If this filter is ever clogged, for whatever the reason it can't flow oil, what this filter, what this valve does is it opens up, like so. So it allows oil to get back in the engine. It's unfiltered oil, but nevertheless you won't have a dry running engine. And again, it's just a safety feature. Every filter I've ever opened has the bypass valve. The material just makes a difference, but every filter has the anti-drain back valve. My guess is every vehicle manufacturer it's required to have that. Now this is where you see some differences. Taking a look at the filter, this has metal end caps. Not every filter has this. For example, again, that Subaru filter, they were not metal. Frame Extra Guard is not metal. Other filters, most of them on your higher end are always metal. Now it's not wire backed. Now on your high end oil filters, Wix XP, AmSoil, Royal Purple, they will have a wire backing inside of the filter to keep the conformity over a long span. But for example, some AmSoils can go up to 25,000 miles. So that's why you need that wire backing. So this is not wire backed, but again, you're paying $8 for the filter. Looks nicely constructed. The gluing is quite good. A little spot there. The spacing is pretty good. We'll do a measurement on the square inches in a moment. But again, metal end caps, metal center tube, 99% efficiency. Compare that to your lower end oil filters. Frame Extra Guard, your cheap STP, you're talking at 95% efficiency. So this is 99%. Purolator Boss, 99 plus. Mobile One, I think, is 99 plus. So if you want top of the line, you guys spend a little bit more money, get something like AmSoil, Wix XP, something along those lines. Okay, so that being said, let's cut open the filter. We'll take a measurement and we'll wrap it up. So now we've cut open the filter, and as you can see, I've laid out the media. I'm measuring around 57 square inches of surface area, and this is most likely a blend of could be polyester, cellulose, fiberglass. On your higher end filters, this media will be synthetic, and synthetics have higher flow rates. They capture smaller contaminants, but you're talking could be not only double the price on the oil filter, but maybe 15,000+ miles. So if you're looking for something like that, Wix XP, AmSoil, Royal Purple. I think for $8 you get a lot of performance for the money. So that's what a Champion oil filter is all about. I think, again, for the money, this is really, really good value. The one filter that comes to mind is the Purolator One, which is pretty much in the same ballpark regarding price, but that's good up to 10,000 miles. This is good up to 12,000 miles. Again, the one downside being I don't have a local Pet Boys. I had to purchase this online. It cost me almost $12. So it's on the higher end. I can get a Wix XP probably in that price range. So that's the downside. If your local auto parts store doesn't have it, you're going to pay a little bit more money for it online. But maybe they'll expand it over time. So that being said, we will continue. My plan is on a weekly basis to upload a oil filter review. I'm trying to get STP Max, which is, I'm having a hard time getting that, but that's their new filter that's good up to 15,000 miles. And then we have Nissan, maybe we'll do a John Deere. So I have a couple things in mind what we're going to look at. So again, if you like this filter, you want something for your vehicle, just leave a clean, innocuous comment in the comment box below. And until next time, thank you for watching.